I can indeed my book. I shall walk you at a quarter of beggar and ting in Chelsea. You took one mother boom pure Ariam McQuay. Cake, I boom them McQuay and Gora. A book quite white and shall go my shot. Be quite a did Chirka, no my court. When I boom pure Ariam McQuay. I took go out the quarter by. Then go out really I win and did for one. Then go out the quarter by. Then when I come them good and for will call him. I took go out the quarter by. Then go out bang score Mangani and by Sherry. You'll go out the quarter by. You'll come out the word. Tinkuniwa. Ting Maja. You'll go out the quarter by. You'll a short a band long by my took to call him and talk jazz. So long, call him and talk jazz. I could have called you, I couldn't want it. I couldn't mind it. About deal about trying to be our. But I think what you've done, I can. And you've been a man, your chair. But a man jumped in one tail. Hello, walk. Here I hear one year. We see Bandu. A man could have a coke, dear, a coke. Coga. A man. Calmar, you are one about that. Will long do the band to do the madingi. I'm do Magan, I could. Then he wouldn't not wrong me. Real yard bill, and I tell Maria short a wallet. 1 yard bill got a cook like short, I talk to it all. Sunday, Maria, that toy be up away. I'll tell a car, bang, the Kadong, I went got talk. Sunday, Maria, come on to Yana land, quite good, take him out in life and tell for my. Come on, Tunyan did your mid dark with it. Will gang roll, will you get? A Keban Tunyan did your mid dark with it. I don't my tour, got on do joke to one. A Keban Tunyan did your mid dark with it. A corn my joke, Tiara, con my do. A Keban Tunyan did your mid dark with it. Will Macarian will dull my lip. Keban Tunyan did your mid dark with it. Taban Tunyan did not shadow it. Cation tar, William let your land you pan near room. Let your quick jam, but I'll give him no. Cation tar, William Yali. I could jam Kinyali, what about Foreign Union? Could jam Kinyali, what about Foreign Union? Could jam do not to Dangai? Labo and intimate. One and got Chandir Mariachi built with a bit of Burkua Nali. Chandir Mariana, I pay root of gold to Naja, Kutonia what? I try to get them. I'm going to go little quality watch your toot. I try to get a pure body up. I'm going to go little quality watch your toot. I shall toot. I shall pull it to one well got. Tired you born when we've been a ring and good.
We got your lord, we got your mouth, we got the diet him shock. We got the diamond thing, we got booking a thing. If you other pay, or you look and jam kabok jam then I'll call a chatting on the screen. Oga jam then, ko book the left to Kabulia, but you took more younger. Abu Kalia tong Arab, Kujala tong Illy. Ren Jam open, Canadian Sudan and the Jam open. Chiwak title thing. I ven a clerk at your lawyer last week. Ake Abi Woka Jamton. Team Chok as a media outlet. Allow Kubanankalwell because the purpose of the media is to bring society closer or community closer. Could be Kanga Jame Kawan, Keglo, could be Kachok, our Kawan Kegi Bureau by Kawit Kajame, Bukachok. Kayin Kana. In a book Jamton Yakon. Yes, sometime Uga Thila share, Lakin Koi Koya defend and Ingon Killa Yoke interesting to take a bidan of share to Kabul kill again. Kabi Oka Jamton Yakol again, Kiana Laka Kabuka mix. Event Kikiroloy, one of the top events was the fight in Nasir. The fight in Nasir begged the question. That was it a reaction of civilians? Was it a fight, a political fight, or was it a reaction from the civilians? We have had so many narratives concerning the fight that led to the killing of general, and before that, personally, as myself, I would have to register my condolences to those who have lost life, to the family of Majur and all his soldiers that lost life, including the White Army that also lost life in that fight, um, because they are all South Sudanese, and nobody deserves to die after we get independent, especially unnecessary dying, like that, senseless. In my opinion, it's kind of like a senseless and provocative fight. There was no reason whatsoever for people to fight. But again, they might have some their own understanding. They may have some their own narratives of what led them to fight. So I will register my condolences, my heartfelt condolences to General Majordak family and all the soldiers who lost their lives in that senseless war. To come back to the point, the question is, was the fight in Nasser a political fight, or was it a reaction between uh, from the civilians? Because we know from so many media outlets that it had been termed White Army were reacting to the atrocity that uh, the the army in Nasser committed. But the complaint also was raised to the government that these soldiers were causing havoc within the community, and therefore the government decided to relocate those army, okay, to be taken back somewhere else. Because sometimes when you stay long enough in one area, you tend to forget that you are a soldier, you are a government army, and therefore the government decided to relocate those soldiers and bring fresh faces um, to the area. That one thing. Now the question is, when I'm looking at these, listening to this, there is no any point. Okay, I understand, Terabuk. That's fine. I will mix it up. Both language, Arabic and English, also are not our language. Sometimes it depends. There are people that don't understand Arabic, but yes, شوية عربي بتاعنا ده بتاع جوبا ولا بتاع جنوبي ده أي زول يعني عنده شوية كده. So we'll mix it up. No problem. Uh, Again, there was a voice recorded in social media, Clubhouse, by somebody called Ian Matthew, and probably is everybody well aware of that. Ian Matthew was one of political activists, uh, probably was a member of SPLM. Many people know him. Uh, on his voice recorded and on social media and Clubhouse, he stated that this is not white army. He is commending this soldiers. He didn't state it that uh, that these are his soldiers, but when you command the soldiers, that become your soldiers. Okay, so he stated that he's going to lead and command these soldiers and to fight the government. Okay, now if that is if Yen Mathieu was uh, truthful to his words and also meant to do that, then this is not become a civilian reacting to the government soldiers. So that one of the topic or one of the point that contradicting point of narrative that this is a civilians white army or civilian trying to protect their community, and they didn't get along with the army station in Nasir, and therefore they're trying to revenge because their women's were being mistreated, or their fellow community members were being mistreated by this army. While Yan Matthew is clearly saying that he's going to fight uh, the government. I don't even know Ian Matthew belonged to the IO, and I believe I had it also on social media that he might have his own party or his own movement. Okay, that's one narrative in there. The third one is that there are some um, social media activists here, especially from that region or from that community, saying that this is a fight against Dinka. This is a fight against a specific community. Now you got three things here. So what is actually the cause of fight? Is it because those soldiers were causing havoc within the community, were causing problem within the community? Or is it because a rebel movement led by Ian Matthew decided to attack the government garrison as to put his political point that he is existent and therefore he had to fight? Third, was that community reacting or attacking the government garrison because they think that those who are there were Jain community and therefore they went and attacked them? So these are the questions that people need answer to. Clearly, those who were in Nasser were government soldiers. Whether they were in specific ethnic groups, let's say they were from certain Kalan of certain regions, it is the government that took them there. They are wearing uniform, government uniform. They are having gun given to them by government, unless the government means Dinka. And I have heard this so many years, especially, and I think we'll come to that topic later on too. Okay, there has been preaching going on here in social media that cannot differentiate between government and a certain community, especially Jiang community. If you are a politician and you are from Jiang, whatever you stated, whatever you say, will not be considered as a political statement, but it will be considered as a community statement. This has been a preaching gospel by all South Sudanese across the region. Even some within, when I say across the region, meaning Equatorian, Bahr el Ghazal, Upper Niles, they've been preaching this. That government is a Jiang and Jiang is a government. And therefore, when you attack the government, you are attacking Jiang. Or when you attack Jiang as citizen, you are attacking the government. And we have seen this on the road of Numli, where people have been picked up in buses and killed. And you stating that you killing them because you have political argument, you have political differences with the government. For Sual and Anderai Jinobi, and I will put, I think the link is there if you want to come. And there nas kade Igul Lagiga. Lana Yan Matthew Gal Firakot, Ugal Kalamda, Beinuda, Mind Walagama White Army, Ulakin, Hua Yakun, Ubugud a Jesh, ويعمل هجوم للحكومه انه ما داير الجيش الجديد يجيبوا في جوبا ده عشان يخير الجيش في ناصر. ينمتي بقولوا ما قائد بتاع وايد ارمي، معناه ينمتي هو شنو؟ اذا كانوا مثلا ريبل then ده ريبل ده تابع لايو ولا عنده مومنت بتاع برا. وإذا كان ينمتي هو ريبل فكيف إنه تقول إنه a white army ديل civilians؟ ده سؤال بالنسبة للناس اللي بيقول إنه ديل civilians or they were reacting إنه في حاجات جيش اللي كان في ناصر ارتكب حاجات بطال لأسرة بتاعهم للبنات بتاعهم. فينمتي قال إنه هو بقود الجيش ده ويحاول هجوم للجيش. ويان متى بقول إنه ما قاعد بتاع جيج الأبيض. ولو ما قاعد بتاع جيج الأبيض ما ينا يان ماتيو هو عنده political issues with the government. Therefore, Yan Matthew is a rebel, is leading a rebellion against the government. Then, الناس اللي جاء عملوا هجوم they're ما civilian. they're متمردين. You can't have it both way. You cannot have it both way. ناس يقول لك يا جماعة في ناس هنا بقول مثلا هم قاعدين في السوشيال ميديا بيتكلم وبقول كده you spin it around. لكن هنا ما بقول ده يعني. We are not dumb. We are not stupid. You cannot claim ديل مواطنين وانت تقول قائد بتاع المواطنين. انت بقول للمواطنين ديل تجي تعمل هجوم للحكومه. انت اعلن بس انه انت معارض للحكومه وعندك جيش بتاعك انه تشتغل مع حكومه. وحكومه عنده حق يدافع. حكومه عنده حق يدافع الروح بتاع المواطنين اللي انت بقول مثلا عن سيتيزن ده عنده ايشوز. لانه ناصر الكومبلين بتاعه كان جابه في جوبا. ما دايرين الناس ديل ياك ما ماشيين كويس معانا. الحكومه قال خلاص انا نشيل الناس ديل ونجيب الاخرين. مش لنا شنو؟ مش لنا شنو؟ وكمان بقول انه المشكله ده مشكله بين نوير ودينكا او نوير وجان. Where are we heading to really? And my question to everybody else, what is exactly the problem between Jing and Nuer or Nas? Somebody needs to educate me on this. Because I don't even know in history that there was one time a fight between Jiang and Nuer as a war between two communities. Yes, a section with section can fight. I know there's a kind of raiding between each community, and that's only to the neighbors. ده الجيران بتاعه. مثلا انوار في الميوم او في بنتيو ممكن بيعمل عنده مشكله مع ناس تويج وعنده مشكله مع ناس رومبيك وتوين. لكن ما عنده مشكله مع ناس ويل لانه ما عنده موجود معه. انوار في اوبن نايل ممكن عنده مشكله مع ناس بور. وده سكشن. انا داير اعرف المشكله بين النهار وجان ده وين. انا عارف في ناس بيجيب 2013 again ده حكومه. في ناس بيجيب متيانيور ده حكومه. هسه حاليا لو حكومه داني كاكي وداني صلاح وداني اوامر هنا نمشي نشاكل انا بشاكل. لكن انا ما الشغله ده انا ما جاي مثلا عشان كوميونتي بتاعي توصل لي. حتى لو موت انا موت كزول حكومه رسله. انا بموت انه كزول بتاع حكومه بكاكي. المشكله بتاع كوميونتي بتاعي شنو؟ ذنب بتاع كوميونتي بتاعي ده شنو؟ يا جماعه ليه ده بيونس يا جنوبين. في million of people of جنوبين ما قاعدين في السوشيال ميديا هنا لكن بتعب الحاجات ده. وكلام ده للناس اللي في السوشيال ميديا. يعني في ناس بالذات الناس اللي في كلاب الهاوس من كلاب هاوس ده ناس بقول انه يا فاهمين الوضع. ناس مثلا بخيل حاجات ما عنده اثبات. there is no proof whatsoever. حاجات خيالي بس. حاجات خيال زي ما كان حصل في الوصل ل 2013 ده، لان الحرب بتاع 2013 عرب خيالي. ده مشكله خيالي انه، وفي في كتب، في articles، في ناس كتبوا. ده ما كلام is not here saying. في ناس كتب كلام ده بانه المشكله بتاع ما حكومه الفقير كان، او المشكله كان في اس بي ال ام. مشكله ده ما مشكله حصلت، ما حصلت. ده مشكله اللي بقول مثلا مستقبليا، بقول انه مثلا يا اخي سلفكير want to become dictator، ولسه ما dictator yet. The fight was Salva Kiir want to become a dictator. ده يوم بتاع 2013. سلفا كير ما في زول قال يا اخي سلفا كير dictator، لكن المشكله كان انه سلفا كير want to become a dictator and therefore we have to fight. لازم نشيله. وما dictator yet يعني، لسه ما dictator. What is that different between، يعني نقول example اللي كان الاسد في فلوريدا، في ولد كان قتلوه في فلوريدا في امريكا هنا. ده زول ده قال يا اخي هو شاف زول ده ماشي and he was suspicious. ممكن زول ده ماشي يسرق يعني، وما سرق حاجه، لكن ممكن زول ده ماشي يسرق. What is that difference between that and the idea that Salva Kiir wanted to become a dictator? لو في زول قال لنا كلام كده كذب كذب اكتب لنا ده and I can bring you the proof. حتى الستيتمنت اللي كان جابوا ناس رياض مشار ناس فقانا امهم and after 2013 بإنه Salva Kiir want to become a dictator. Nobody said Salva Kiir is a dictator. He overstayed his term. لكن Salva Kiir want to become a dictator. So you fighting في حاجه ما حصل عليه، يعني حاجه بيحصل في المستقبل. That was the cause. And in fact, they made Salva Kiir to stay longer than he wanted. I think, to me, I think I would call that's a dumb calculation, a dumb political calculation, because any leader who want to stay in power always survive in chaos, and that chaos was not looked at by so-called politicians. So you guys made Salva Kiir to stay longer than he wanted. And South Sudanese, especially people have been talking about, well, you guys Dinka are not even, helping to take Salva Kiir out. That would be the basic of starting point. If you think Salva Kiir was about to stay, or you think Salva Kiir is behaving like a dictator, and therefore he might turn out to be a dictator later on, you should have come to that community. You should have mobilized through your political platform to tell people, hey, this guy, I think, is up to no good, like according to, for the better lack of words. Therefore, we need to make sure that this guy is out. You didn't do that. You start fighting. And therefore, Salva Kiir always would stay to make sure that the country is stable. So therefore, people can go to election and can bring a new leader. Now, let me go back to that. I don't want to get into detail of 2013. But I brought it up because people keep spinning back to that. Everywhere you go in Clubhouse, everywhere, they keep spinning back to that. And again, with Jiang being a central focus for all other tribes, not all other tribes, but political that claim to be the better leader than Salva Kiir, especially our social media champions. They are sitting somewhere in Egypt, somewhere in the United States, somewhere in Australia, somewhere in Canada, somewhere in Kenya. They have access to internet 24/7. And they're always claiming this is JCE. What I think that what is it? Jiang cancel is the problem. It's a Jiang problem. This is a Jiang problem. You are in Egypt because of Jiang problem. And I don't even think. And once you are in Juba, you are enjoying life. You were alongside eating the cake, the fruits of South Sudan independence with Salva Kiir. That was a good time. Jiang were nowhere to be seen. Kan mafi Jiang. Hukuma kan kwes, da hukuma tana kan hukuma kwes. Until you are taken out of the government, and then you see it in different set of eyes. You see it in a tribalism. Then people turn around and say, "Oh, Jiang are tribalists." And I haven't had any Jiang on a social media saying this is a Balanda problem, this is Bari problem, this is Kwakwa problem, this is Maban problem. No. And by the way, find the way to live with Jiang. Stay away from illusion that you will eliminate or you will fight your way out, or you get rid of Jiang through fighting. That's a big illusion. I have seen some Equatorians, the social media politician of Equatoria, and I don't even think they know politics. I'm not a politician, but I can see the logic of somebody stating his argument. I have a couple of people that being recorded, and they talk about and trying to push these young guys from what so-called white army to go and fight their fights while they're sitting eating McDonald's, eating burger somewhere here in the United States, and they say, "You go and fight. Are you a coward?" If I would were to lead the army, I would be commanding them on the ground. If I have to declare a fight, I would be on the ground to command like John Garang did, like Salva Kiir did, like William Nguyen did. You don't sit somewhere and try to push people in there to go and fight. Now, let me go back to the next question. Was the IO, or should I say, was the killing of General Major, with his bodyguard, was that a premeditated killing, or was it a result of a failed rescue? We have heard from people in Juba, spokesman of SPDF. We have heard it from all different speakers, including President Kiir, that Yang Machar was involved, that the IO soldiers were involved in rescuing General Major. I heard also from different speakers that Dr. Yang Machar himself is asked Major to surrender to IO, rather than telling IOs, go and help the SSPDF because we are now in government of national unity. Even if we don't have a joint army, we still have to defend the constitution that give me the right to be vice president. Instead of telling them, go and push back these civilians, he's asking General Major to surrender to IO. He also facilitated the evacuation of Major through UN helicopter. And I also heard from the social media that the IO politicians, again, those are on social media, trying to spin it around and saying, Well, somebody somewhere, shoot the fire, and therefore General Majur was killed. If somebody, for some reason, shoot, why not shooting on that individual and shoot on Majur then? Why shooting on helicopter and not shooting, let's say the soldiers were still in there, according to somebody narrative, which I think is a big white lie, that there was somebody crazy somewhere that shoot the gun and therefore the gun erupted and General Majur was killed. Do you guys really think that all the South Sudanese are really dumb trying to buy into that argument? يعني جنوبيين بقى بقول الدرجه ذاك طبعا انا عارف انه ناس بقول يا اخي جنوبيين they are not educated, very few of them are educated, but don't please play with the mind of uneducated South Sudanese. They still, as maybe they don't know how to read and write, but they can understand what you're saying. Don't spin it around. They can clearly understand what you are talking about. And this is message to those sitting in clubhouse and social media 24/7, trying to spin it around. If this is not premeditated killing, then the IO should have at least tell those, because you cannot rescue. This is kind of like a planned evacuation in which Dr. Yang Mashar allegedly talked to the White Army and said, back away from the air, stay far away from there. I just want helicopter, UN helicopter, to sit down and take these people. We are not in a fighting yet. You guys step away from there. So if White Army are that far away, then who is killing with you then? Who is shooting on general? If they were that far away, White Army were that far away, they were told, back away from there. You stay there, don't come back. Riek Machar told them that. Who is else then shooting within that premises? Who is calling me now? Hold on, guys. Okay, good. If you want to come, then hold on, guys. Somebody calling me here. Just bear with me. Sorry, somebody called me. He want to come. Again, I'm gonna post the link here. You want to come and discuss this? You can click the link in the comment section, but I would also send it to those. Let me see if I can find people here to send it to them. So this is, to me, is a premeditated killing, because there is no way that the White Army is standing that far away, even if they shot at that helicopter and the fire was returned, let's say by IO, because some people claim that the IO soldiers may have died on that. Maybe the IOs that were carrying general may not involve directly, but remember, the White Army were told by Riek Machar to stay away. He communicated with them. If you're really planning to kill somebody, you wouldn't care who is with that individual. Maybe White Army may have shot general with even IO soldiers that were carrying him. And maybe, yes, some IO soldiers may have died through that shooting. But does it mean that the killing was not planned? If I'm telling you to surrender and you refuse, what should I do with you? If you are planning to evacuate somebody in any battlefield, in anywhere, I also there would have been gardening. I mean, making a garden around that area. Let's say they would have been facing the White Army, telling them, "Don't shoot. Okay, you guys stay away. Don't shoot. We just need to take these people out here." And according to the pictures, yeah, there are some. I have seen pictures with like Sultan Fogo fi Indo alama bitaw mungkin fi muwatanin ma darin kalam da yasir. Lakin Juba have something else. And I know this the social media politician want to mobilize innocent citizens. Those they don't even visit their areas, because none of these people here sitting on social media 24/7 saying that you go and fight, you go and fight, you know are very strong, you are the only one that can defeat the Jiang or something like that. And those innocent young kids are being sent to commit those atrocities. I know this is not new. It might be new to those who are young enough not to understand this. Even during the SPLA, SPLM, go and listen to Dr. John Garamobio when he was saying that there are people sitting in London, in New York, saying that okay, we want to be taken over the SPLA, SPLM, while they were not in on the ground. Is something being existent ever since? People sitting somewhere after they have a good meals with 24/7 internet access, sitting in there and trying to mobilize innocents, young people, by telling them that you are the strongest, you are the warriors, you go and fight. The very same people that will whine later on and say, oh, this is tribalism, why targeting this? And you mobilizing them right now to go and fight. You're not mobilizing them as your soldiers, but you mobilize them as a tribe to go and attack another tribe. And you're running your mouth around here saying that, oh, you are tribalism. You are tribalist. Why are you saying that? And I know some also social media politician turn around and think, oh, maybe I'm going to join that wagons. That's going to help me to be recognized as a politician. My friend. And that would be my next topic. Your voice is being recorded. You are not. And I think, in my own opinion, there is no leader, not a single one. Those who are sitting on social media, no a single one that is free from tribalism. It's just that they've been kicked out and therefore they want to get in there. And when they get in, they will turn around and practice the very same thing that they're blaming Salva Kiir with right now. Also, Sudanese, especially intellectual, the so-called intellectual, their brain is intertwined with tribalism. It's in their blood. Don't tell me that you are not a tribalist. Show me something that I would say myself, say this guy is not a tribalist. It's not what you're telling me. Do something and I will judge you based on that. Is your action that will determine my opinion to say you are a tribalist or you are not? It's not because you tell me that you're not a tribalist. Because even thief can be caught red-handed and they will say, no, I didn't steal anything. I have been accused of stealing. They will never admit that I'm a thief. So for you to tell me that I'm not a tribalist, is somebody else. Well, what are you doing? Your action show that you are a tribalist. You are a tribalist based on your action, not because you saying something else. And I even, some people, when you even speak in their own language, they were like, oh my God, why are they speaking Dinka? What? No. Because if I want you to hear something, I can say it like I'm saying right now in English. It might not be perfect English as you would expect it, but at least you would understand what I'm saying. It's not the best Arabic that you could ever heard, but you will understand me. And I will say whatever I want to say to pass across to everybody else in that Nyangara Arab Bidaida. Nyangara Arab Bidaida, Lana Kuna Sudan al Wahada. Izol kan bimshi batalab talaful bidao, ma baji matarjama. The same Arab Nyangara Bidaida, and I can pass my information through that. So the idea of inciting violence on a social media so that those people go and fight, and you hope that they will overthrow the government so that you come in later on to take over the government. A true politician must be within that government or close by. There's nothing wrong to talk against the government. In fact, to me, my understanding of opposition is that opposition is a mirror. It's a mirror that government, the government in charge, could see themselves. Because when opposition point thing out, this is kind of like a mirror. When you sit in the mirror, you look into your face and see whether there's something in your face. So opposition to me is a mirror to the government. It's not a bad thing. It's not bad to be opposition, but don't be violent. You could be arrested. That's part of being a politician. In the old Sudan that we are in, how many times people being arrested and thrown in jail? Even Hassan Trump himself been arrested so many times. Even when he was still a student, they were being arrested and thrown into jail. So if you are that afraid not to be thrown in jail, why are you exciting other people or exciting and claim that go and fight? And this is the real fight. People are dying. They're not coming back. People are dying. But you're afraid to go to jail. You're afraid to go to jail. So to me, in my opinion, in my observation, based on reported coming out from that, General Mujur death was a premeditated killing. It was a planned. It was something planned. So they not spin it around, twist it around, and make it, try and you think that people will believe that what you're saying is truth because you think you're smart enough, because you think you are educated enough than anybody else. My friend, this country, South Sudan, has been run ever since its existence, has been run by those who have not gone to school, and they run well. They understand the situation. They deal with British. They deal with them. They didn't have a PhD. And in fact, my question is, I saw articles, somebody called Dr. Something wrote articles bringing the fight in Nasser, White Army, IO, and appointment of Bolmel being a vice president together. It's like cut and paste. Those PhD holders even saying that the fight in Nasser is because of Bolmel appointment. Are you serious? What does that have to do with the White Army? Again, I will come back to that. The idea of saying that, oh, these are civilians. Appointment of Bolmel being a vice president. What that has to do with the civilians in Ulang County? What that has to do with the civilians in Nasir? If this is not a political fight being instigated by people in Juba, we can read between the lines. We can read between the lines. And what I meant by that is not reading what is written, but reading your opinions, reading how things going around. It was not long ago that the governor in Western Equatoria, which is an IO, was released. A minister also was released. So everybody can conclude that it was IO trying to make a point, because I know the IO complained that, oh, we were not consulted. Salva Kiir just removed these people without consultation to IO, especially Yang Machar. And therefore, Yang Machar decided to attack Nasser. Call a spade a spade. This has nothing to do with White Army. White Army is part and parcel of Yang Machar army. This is not the first time. In 91, even 2013, was that not White Army were trying to march to Juba? Were they marching there because their civilians were mistreated by as SPDF or SPLA by then? They were going there because they want to put Yang Machar in power. They were going there because they want to put Yang Machar in power. So don't say today White Army is a civilian and all this. No. Everybody have a gun in South Sudan, I'm telling you. And you guys know this. Everybody have a gun. There may be Galwing, Tidwing, whatever. Everybody have a guns. But have you ever heard those young youths mobilizing themselves to attack garrisons somewhere? Nasser is not only that where the SSPDF is located. They are everywhere. But none of those communities mobilize their citizens and go and attack unless there is a politician that telling them go and fight. So the killing of Majur was a premeditated killing. It was done by people in Juba. And the good thing, the people of Juba acknowledge that. They acknowledge that. I hear some talks during the funeral of General Majur. So don't spin around. If people sitting here on social media and trying to listen to you, don't treat them as dumb. Don't say that these are people that don't know anything. Now, my next point is, according to social media and to some other media outlets, the killing of Majur and SSPDF in Nasir has been condemned by IGAD, by Traeger. I haven't heard that the White Army has been labeled as a terrorist organization. But I think there's something missing on that. People remember the genocide in Rwanda. The genocide in Rwanda started through radio. It was through talk, through excitement. By then, there was no social media, but there was radio everywhere. Those propagandists that's sitting on social media, those who clearly saying that they want these people to go and fight the government. They want this community to go and fight with with the other community. Are they those people are not terrorists? Why the the IGAD leaving these people out. They are the one exciting the fight. They are there in clubhouse. They are sitting in there 24/7, calling the other community to go with another, go and fight with another community. They're not calling the government to go and do this. And I know people will say, well, the government doesn't do anything, and therefore we want people to take law into their own hands. I think those people should be considered to be included into that list. لازم يكونوا في الليست ده، لان دول ما إرهابيين، دول اكبر إرهابيين في السوشيال ميديا هنا ده. بقول انت يا واد عمي انتوا نوير يا اقوى ناس امشي شاغل مع دينكا، حكومه ده حكومه بتاع دينكا بقول. Even though there are two vice presidents من نوير, maybe now there might be more young in there because of Bolmel and maybe Rebecca. And yet the government being called as government of young. So those people sitting on the clubhouse must be held accountable. They must be held accountable. Because we don't do that. Somebody else would sit in there and also mobilize the other tribe and will put this country at risk. I know those, they don't care because they're not there. They will not run. They will not run away from there. They will sleep with their kids. Their kids are going to school, they're eating good food, they have access to internet 24/7. They will not care. Why are they be allowed to excite the fight? They should be included into that list. Because sometimes it's through what you're saying that can cause problem. Another minute, sometimes I think almost 100% all the time, النتيجة بتاع الشغلة بيبدأ بالكلام حتى بعدها يوصل لدرجة بتاع الشغلة. فالناس اللي بقعد في السوشيال ميديا ده 24 ساعة بقوم صباح بمسا بالليل ساعة كم بقول يا كم شغل انتوا نور ناس قويين وانتوا وايد عامل ناس كده وامشي وما بزول تاني انا بقدر على الدينكا الا انتوا نور ديل. And you guys know, you go to social media. Because I feel some few individuals from like Equatoria. And the funny thing is, they're living with Dinka. They're staying with them, they're eating with them. Instead of fighting them, they want somebody else and go and fight. I'm going to bring you up, Yai. Some people request that they want to be part of this discussion. I did put a link in there. I know sometimes it's easy for Facebook to get in, but StreamYard is sometimes a little hard to get in. So if you are have interest to come in here, I have a link up there. You can come through YouTube or you come through Facebook, whatever easy for you. Yeah, I'm gonna bring you up. I see you. You are working outside.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I'm going to work. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to work, and I wake up.
Yeah.
I just woke up, and the topic.
Yeah. I decided to do some show today. يعني في ضجة كده في ناس بيقولوا حاجات ما له علاقة خاصة يعني في واحد كتب كتاب كده إنه مشكلة في ناصر ده بتاع بولمت and I will make this topic next week. We are going to talk about the reaction the reaction of people during appointment of Bolmel. I think that I would pose a question whether that was based on personality of Bolmel, or because I have seen many people reacting and they're bringing up the community. They were not even attacking Bolmel as kind of based on his qualification or whatever. Okay, people assume here that because the article I'm talking about, somebody even blaming economic of South Sudan collapse based on because of ball mill. People are fighting and Nasir because of ball mill. Things are getting harder because of ball mill. The dollar is so high because of ball. How long ago did ball mill being appointed as a vice president? Was it not last month? Was the economic was good last year?
Yeah,
Was the economy
the
was
actual
growing well
issue,
last year
Jack,
before appointment of ball mill?
is not about.
So
Yeah,
Yan Maraj,
yeah,
I'll give you a point also to state your opinion on this. It's kind of like this open discussion. I just want to make sure that people are not, uh, taking this for granted and run away with all these lies around here and thinking that people are buying them. So welcome.
yeah. شكرا. يا أنا طبعا بتكلم بصوت واضح لأنه في باص ما بشغل. لأنه هنا لأنه ما في قراية عربات عشان كده using public transport. ده أقول لمشاهدينك في تيك توك good morning wherever you are, and good evening and good afternoon. عندنا وقت might be different. عندنا هنا الساعة 7 ونص 5 دقيقة. أنا طبعا داير بس نعمل تعليق على two things about عالمنا في ناصر وملكال ولم أناكوبو. بس الشيء ده أقول إنه أنت ما ممكن بقول له أنت ما بتطعن في الدون وتخلي الفيل. لأنه what I know so far until now they don't know who they are fighting. Are they fighting the government or are they fighting the certain tribes called Dinka? Until then, they know the actual targets that they're fighting. Then their fighting will be just a cost. They're fighting with a cost, not just a random. بس انت تميز ولا تلاقي اللي في راس قدامك عشان عندك قوه ولا عندك سلاح. ده النقطه الاولى انه حالنا في المناطق بتاع النوير انتلنا ما عارفين قاعد يشاكلوا بعض. لانه دينكا ما حكومه وحكومه ما دينكا. These are two different things. عشان تمشي تقتل دينكا غلبان عشان عندك مشكله مع حكومه. ده بس بقيت زول متخلف ما بتعرف انت قاعد تعمل شنو. حتى الدنكاوي ذاته اذا بدا زعلان من الحكومه يمشي يقتل واحد من اكواتوريا فور اكزامبل باري ولا مورو ولا كاكوا عشان هو زعلان من الحكومه. انا بقول انت زول دنكا متخلف. And these two things ما بمشوا مع بعض. They cannot go together. لانه حكومه دي تكوين بتاع ناس عندهم هدف. حزب سياسي عندهم مانيفستو. كل حزب عنده قانون وكل حزب عنده اهداف بتاعه. And these objectives are the one driving them. إذا وصل في حكومة هم أصلاً هينفذوا objective بتاعهم ده. ما له علاقة بالقبيلة هم جاي شو. نمرة اثنين إذا الناس نوير دايرين يعرف حالنا نوير. دايرين يعرف إنه who is the real enemy. فأنا بقول real enemy بتاعكم يا جماعة ده رياض مشاكل. والليدرز بتعاون معهم. بالاخص الناس اللي قاعدين في ايست نوير الناس اللي قاعدين في اتجاه بتاع شرق نوير وجنوب نوير. رياض مشاكل من شمال نوير. لكن لما if you follow the احداث من 1991 رياض ببدا حرب وين؟ ببدا حرب في ايست نوير. ما ببدا حرب في المنطقه بتاعهم. always الفايتنج رياض بيبدا حرب وبيعملوا مناطق بتاعت شرق نوير وجنوب نوير يا مناطق ماركة وخلي المنطقة بتاعهم في بانتي. انت كذول مثقف نويراوي ولا مثقفة نويراوية ما بتقعد في نفسك بتسأل نفسك ليه رياض بيبدأ عارف في مناطقنا ما قاعد يبدأ في مناطقنا. ما هو عنده منطقة هو جاي عنده كاونتي عنده بوما عنده بيام. ليه ما قاعد يبدأ حرب هناك؟ وبالاخص برضو لما تمشي if you go further السؤال بيطرح نفسه لما رياض بدا حرب في 1991 إنه كنا شباب كنا صغار يعني ما كبرنا. انا كنت في سنه ثانيه بعدين. رياض بدا حرب الشباب اللي كانوا 18 سنه لما رياض بدا حرب 2013 ثاني ده فرق بتاع 22 سنه. وثاني لما رياض بدا حرب ولا سمح الله ما في حرب بدا لان حكومه ورئيس الكثير قام حد الناس انه ما بدون شاطر وقالوا مرارا وتكرارا انه you not take back the country to war. يعني ما ندي حرب. الشباب كانوا 16 سنه في 2013 هسه حاليا بقى 18 سنه. يعني رياض كان زول زرع مزرعه بتاعه لما المزرعه بقى خلاص نجم ودار يقطعه. واصلا عملوا نوير يعني الشباب بتاع نوير عملوا زي ده. He waited until they become they are grown up and then يوزن لهم سلاح ويقول لهم اشتغلوا بدل ما يبنوا لهم مدارس يبنوا لهم معلات بتاع الالعاب. انت نعمل اول الجمهوريه وعندك عندك اعضاء برلمان بتاعك جبته illegally they are appointed. انت بدل ما تعمل ادفوكيتس عشان الجنوبيين يسمعوا صوتك انه في مناطق مظلوم زي ناصر زي ولام زي باغاك زي غاديام and all this you should be advocating for those areas عشان يودوا لهم خدمات عشان الجنوبيين يسمعوا صوتك. اذا حكومه قال يا اخي ما نودي مالادين بكل مالادين ده السيطره بتاعك جنوبيين باقي جنوب بجيب معاك بقول لا حتى لو السيطره كان بتاعهم جنوبيين اللي معاك لهم خدمات. هل رياض قاعد مع حزب بتاعه في برلمان عنده ناس فيه اللي هو زول بتاع النائب رئيس مجلس التشريع القومي عشان يطالبوا بخدمات يودوا في مناطق بتاعت ولا مناصب؟ هل حصل قبل كده؟ ما حصل طبعا. Then the only thing that Yusuf Waslan is good at انه يوزع سلاح للناس دين يقول اخي go and fight them which is opposite تماما. زي ما قلت ذكرت قبل انه حكومه Dinka is not the government and the government is not this. فأنا في نوير إذا بيسمعوا إذا في ناس that are watching they should be asking these questions. لأنه what I know so far until now من 2000 من 1991 حتى الآن ما في دينكاوي أعلن حرب ضد نوير لأنه ما عندنا مشكلة. أنا جاي من شعب البرغزال بعيد ما عندي حدود مع نوير. شنو بخلينا نشارك مع نوير؟ وقت الناس اللي حدود ما بيتزوجوا مع بعض بتلقى كميه من البنات متزوجين من نوير تلقى من دينكا تلقى كميه من نوير متزوجين من دينكا مختلطين ناس لخبطوا ناس قاعدين عايشين. what I know منجم الكبير اللي قاعد في البلد هناك اللي بيرقصوا كل يوم وقاعدين في الزراعه بتاعه وقاعدين في المراحه بتاعه ورا افكارهم ما عارفين what's happening. لانه ما في زول عملوا موبلايز انه عندنا عدو وحيد اسمه نوير لانه عدو بتاع ده زول عندنا بس one enemy هو شمال السودان ده اللي كان عشان كده لما قلنا فوق ده عدو الوحيد اللي عارفينه. لكن كوما الجنوبي يكون عدو بتاع ده حاجه مستحيله لانه كلنا we were fighting against one common enemy that is not Sudan والشماليين ده اللي كان عدو بتاعنا. حتى في مدارس أغاني بتاعنا في المدارس دي أغاني بتاعنا تغني إنه ده بنو هذا بتاعنا دي نعرفه. فشي ده أقول لك رسالة لأهل النوير دنك الغلبانين اللي قاعدين في الوراب والقاعدين في النيجر ستيت والقاعدين في شمال البرغزال والقاعدين في جبلي في مناطق بتاعت بور وفي تويجي ودوك وبيجي وعكوكا and you go to Bali and all those areas up to ruin and يمنوا ما له علاقة بالحكومة ولا حيكون حكومة. الدنكاو بيكون في حكومة ده دنكاو أبقى عضو في أسفل معه وجابوه بتكتب في أسفل معه. دنكاو بيكون عضو دنكاو بيكون في أسفل وجابوه بتكتب في أسفل. كمان في سؤال ثاني بطرح نفسه هنا. رياض الشعب المسكين في ولان وفي ناصر هو بناشد بإنه مثل بعدين. وين عنده بناته اثنين ولا بنته وولده يتزوج من أبنائه. Now one. Number two, speaker to مجلس الولايات كل دنقاو عمنا دنقاو كون ليه ما تردوا إذا ما دنقاو ليه ما تردوا في السلطة وده كرسي اللي بس إنه عشان يكون جد فعل جد بكلام إنه مش لما دنقا ما يترد دنقا كون في مجلس الولايات كرئيس المجلس بتكتب أسفل معه يترد جرام تون من الويل. I can name the list. ناس أنا بعرفهم من أولادك. يبقى أصلاً رياض وقاعد يقدر نور. يعني is deceiving innocent communities في مناطق نور. ما قاعد يقولون عنه. عشان كده نور they have to sit down and think. وعلى فكرة رياض منطقة بقول له ناس ولا بفهم وبتعليم وبثقافة والسياسة ده المناطق الوحيدة اللي شو ناس متحضرين. أنا بصوت الدول كله. I'm not trying to downgrade other areas, but الناس أنا بعرفهم عاشرتهم وأنا بعرفهم أغلبية من أبناء ناصر ولا ده الناس المثقفين متعلمين. they have to sit down with the communities and stop this madness and nonsense about we are going to fight it. لأنه شنو بنلمكم بعدين. There is nothing that is common between you and Dinka to go and fight yourself. لأن حكومة دينكا ودينكا ما حكومة ده في نوير حتى الجيش اللي بيقولوا سينين كترنا الجيش دينكا في أبنا ديوبتي كماندر ديوبتي تامجو نوراوية كان عقيد كترنا مين نوراوية المرة كان ديوبتي تامجو الناس ما بيجيبوا سواس حاليا قتلوا شو قدام ماجو من بنات الناس. لكن لما تجي الناس في السوشيال ميديا they are sending different message out to the public. وصلنا مرحلة إنه ما بقول حقائق على الأرض. They are not telling the truth that are real exactly on the ground. فأدير أقول للناس حالنا في نوير في مناطق بتاع الناس ولا يسد نوير والناس اللي قاعدين بسنتر نوير ما كل وقت يا مشار بيعمل مناطقكم كمناطق بتاعت معركة كل وقت. يعني يا مشار بيكون داير حاجة ما بيبدأ حرف المنطقة بتاعه هو مولود فيها لأنه عنده منطقة بتاعه أي زول عنده مولود في المنطقة بتاعه. يا مشار بيونيتي ستيت وعنده اريا بتاعه ليه ما بيبدأ فيه حرب منطقة بتاعه ما فيه شباب منطقة بتاعه ما فيه عيال.
طيب سؤال هنا يا الكلام انت قلت ده يعني seem like في كل ما يجي جنريشن رياض مشاعر انه بيحاول يدخلوا في المشكله وكذا تاني يعني شباب ديل يعني بالنسبه للمثقفين اللي انت قلت ده في است النوير ده هل يعني بشوف الكلام ده مثلا ده ك يعني something that would affect their generation لانه maybe رياض مشاعر in his mind is planning to keep these people uneducated so he can use them for his political purpose. Because I believe the attack in Nasir is a political statement based on the removal of governor of Western Equatoria, the removal of minister, I don't know what minister of health, something like that. They were complaining about that. And I think for him to make a statement that he still exists is to create war. And to do that, he may not use his professional army like IO, but a militia called White Army, which is also commanded by Riek, because Riek was the one that. There are many proof that these White Army only listen to Riek. If you remember when they were trying to go to Murle area, Riek Machar went and talked to them and convinced them to come back. Okay, so the same thing, even in this fight, he said, "Well, I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to talk to them to stop fighting." So that proved that Riek Machar is commanding, and also, is the only one that the White Army can listen to. So the question is, does people of Eastern Nuer look into these historical events in which every generation has been taken to war by Riek Machar to go and die, and then at the end of the day, there's nothing, like you said about service. There's nothing. There's no reward to them.
ولا شيء في ياك what I know طبعا ناس حالنا في مناطق النوير they will say and I'm against Riek Machar, but all of us Riek Machar is جاب طريقة بدأت سنة دي اختراع فاس بقى رئيس بتاع الجمهورية أقول ده مش معاه لكن زمن بتاع إنه يشيل سلطة بالviolence creating chaotic environment where people cannot even survive properly. The Shinina, we are against it. I myself am against that type of politics. لكن شيل في ده سؤال بتاع نفسه للمثقفين طبعا أنا خليه we will leave it to the intellectual بتاع ناصر ولم المناطق بتاع Eastern to decide. It is a policy of keep them down and make them a ladder to climb up. Now, no hurubat that العمل رياض مشارب بعد independent حرب بتاع 2013 لما جاء شغل حكومة رياض مشار وبقى شكله كأنه is a family business. شفنا كمان 2018 لما وقعوا اتفاقية في خرطوم وجا كون حكومة بدون خجل جابل appointed his own wife to be a minister of defense بدون خجل ودخل الناس مع احترامي للسياسة والبوليسي بتاع الآيو ناس بيقولوا طبعا أنجلينا كان رئيس اللجنة الأمنية في أسفل المايو and all this but so what هلا أنجلينا بيكون أقوى من CDR كونترول أنجلينا كان أقوى من بعد كان عمل ديفكت بعد كده حكومة it's about balancing تجيبوا تشاركوا الناس إذا فعلا حكومة أصلا أنت قاعد تشاكل بحق بتاع النوير ما يبي شير ده كده وخلى الناس زي ناس قرويدول خلوهم برا ناس كونترول خلوهم برا ناس دوير توت هو still claiming himself to be the chair أسفل معي طبعا أسفل معي بقى أنت عنده 3 functions ده في بتاع قرويدول وفي بتاع دوير توت كل دول رئيس أسفل معي ده سبب إنه ده سبب سوء إدارة بتاع أنكل رياض مشار طبعا نسي يعني تودي طبعا مزوج من رياض مشار من أولاد توت بقول ممكن أقول طبعا هو
ده نسيبه كان
ده نسيبه لكن politically رياض مشار عنده سوء إدارة طبعا عنده سوء إدارة حتى ما قدر يعمل مانج أسفل ما هو كان ماشي بس عفوا كده they find themselves because of weird أنا متأكد إذا كان unity بتاع النوير ده that they use to fight their neighbors إذا كان يستخدموها إذا كان الناس قاعدة وين ده they use it to vote against the person that don't support keep them services ده بكون كان بكون أفضل والشيء الثاني حالنا في مناطق بتاع النوير زي ما قلت قبل if you hear the speech with a young guy, the new appointed governor of the state,
Yeah.
أنا كنت قريب أبكي يعني almost كنت يعني to shed tears لأنه في مناطق محروم من خدمات أساسية زي التعليم. At the same area that have been mobilized by Riek Machar عشان يودوا الحرب. مناطق زي غرور زي نيرور زي واد زي أيون. يعني الناس ما بيجلس فيهم مرة يعني الشهادة بس مرة الأساس ولا شهادة ثانوية. لا بيجوز بيجلس فيها. Why? Because Riek Machar واصل لقبة راس ناس هنا والناس ما بيسمعوا الناس ما فاضيين بالتعليم. وللأسف الشديد سلاطين ذاتهم their mind is being enslaved by that concept of عندنا مشكلة بعدين يعني ما بينظروا للمستقبل بتاع عيالهم ولا فاضيين ذاتهم للمستقبل بتاع أولادهم. إذا كان أولادهم هسه حاليا that are growing up or the upcoming generation they don't care about. فلما تشوفوا زي ده ده أصلا ده كلام أنا قلته قبل إنه the enemy number one بتاع نوير هو اللي مكان. Riek Machar أصلا ما داير نوير community to come up with new leaders. نوير ما فيه leaders. العيال قاعدين يقتلوا فيه رسم ممكن يطلع فيه رئيس بكرة. ممكن يطلع فيه رئيس حارة كان ممكن يطلع فيه أي زول. لأن بلد بتاع الجنوبيين أي جنوبي عنده حق إذا if they build themselves you can be something else later. There is no specific area where you cannot do anything that you have if you have qualification that they do that. So what I know, Riek Machar is trying to keep this young generation down all the time. He want to keep them down so that his kids can thrive to be the next leaders. لكن هو قاعد يفشل. كل مرة يعني دكتور السياسي ما بيعرف يحسب يعني إصابات سياسية الحقيقية عشان ينجح. يعني ده بقول له شربة السياسية بالعربي لأنه أنت ممكن كل وقت. نقطة ثانية وده نقطة مهمة طبعا. رياض مشار عارف إنه إذا الجنوب بقى في peace والناس ماشيين انتخابات next year, he will not win the election because he lost Akobo. They are kind of strong all the time. لأنه وايد من majority of them they come from Akobo from Law. طبعا دي أكبر منطقة في سكانها. And then followed by the Jikany, which is the eastern one or central one. مناطق تاني تبانتي ما بزول معه لأنه مجموع بتاع ما يوم اللي هو bull they don't support him. ما بزول there is nobody supporting him. That's why he mind to ground في تبانتي. فعشان كده أصلا الإصابات بتاعه بيشوف إنه إذا فعلا خلي استقرار يستمر زي ما هي ونزل يخش election 2016 2026 then he will not come back to the power. That the only means to keep fighting عشان نازل. What I know so far إذا كان رئيس ما عملوا تحدي الوضع as a SPDM ما عملوا respond ومشي هناك كان أصلا عملوا full scale war في الجنوب ونازل يعملوا negotiate peace again and Riek Machar will be appointed again as vice president. لازم يكون انتخابات. ده يسابات كده. None of that the only way that will keep him in the power.
طيب ليه الناس بتعمل انه سلفا او ما داير election وفي واحد وراه ذاته وما داير election يعني ليه الناس بيشوف انه سلفا ما داير election وما يقول ان مثلا سلفا مع رياض مجاد من ما دايرين election.
والله what I know so far رياض مجاد مش سلفا اي زول اختاروا SPLM رياض will not be that person. حتى انت ده قاعد في تيم جوجا حاليا اذا SPLM قاعد وراك they appointed you to be the next candidate رياض مجاد will not be there. Because they share about it. Not even from Nathan Kadmir. Because العمل وزير بتاع الطاقة بتاع الدين بودكام اللي هو عمل برايب ريال الصغار بقروش بسيطة بترول وعمل برايب للسلاطين عشان مبرايد بسال في الناس ولا من المنطقة بتاعه ما بيعنوا رياض مشاركة بشعبية لأنه أنا متأكد سلفا كير حتى لو ما عمل كامبين وقال بس إنه he's contesting رياض مشاركة not be because like أنا ذكرت لك قبل أكبر منطقة كان فيه دعم ترى مشاركة لو مناطق كاكوب Again, dia kasi into ground. Anu laboratory batut magaru jol. Dia lost base fi laut. Madu hujud. Madu hujud. Uzagan fire dia kan hujud. Kan ada berakhir the same wide army kan بنفس الموف اللي عملوا wide army ناصر كان مشبور ويقول يا اخي انا ما دايرين جيش في المناطق بتاعنا the same عقليه كان طبعا لكن عشان كده رياض مكان ما عنده بيس في المناطق دي عشان كده ما في زول ما في زول معه فده شيء انا بعرفه ممكن I might be wrong but that is the reality of the ground رياض مكان ما عنده وانا مراكن اكثر ناس اللي بيكرهوا رياض مكان على النوير ما دينك قاعد يكتبوا كله كده ده شيء انا بعرفه يعني اكثر الناس اللي بيكرهوا رياض مكان على الرجال بيقوموا كده يكتبوا بالنهار من الناس ده ما دينك
المهم شو انا شايفك انت كانوا ماشي شغل.
يا راجل
Yeah, the other thing that I think people need to pay attention to the نازل في social media لأن في كلام يعني بكرر يعني كلام ده من 2013 يعني في ناس قاعدين هنا في السوشيال ميديا يعني بيعمل فيشنج لأنه ده مشكلة بتاع جين وكذا تاني يعني موضوع بتاع جين كانسل ويلدرز يعني في اكاذيب يعني من بدايه بتاع يناير لحد ما هسه طبعا ما قاعدين نشوف هسه في فيسبوك لانه الناس دي راحل في كلوب هاوس ولسه 24/7 يعني
تيك توك
they still talking about جين كانسل of illness والناس مثلا ما رجعوا بتاريخ بتاع جين كانسل ده جا كيف to exist هو جا كيف ذاته جين كانسل في ناس في I believe في نوير كانسل of illness في same thing with Equatoria. Why is it always JCE or Jane Council of Elders? And I think that's where also they spin around. ويقول يا اخي ده حكومه بتاع اجل Jane Council of Elders او مثلا ماسكين حكومه يا متشارين لكير وهي حاجه كير بعمل بيجي من جمال فالناس
والله
اللي بيعمل حاجه ده excitement ده you know they should be all accountable. اذا كان
ما
مثلا
مشكله طبعا
يعني human right او ايجاد ده بقول مثلا وايد عامل ده designated as ارهابي فليه كل الناس اللي في السوشيال ميديا الناس اللي بيقولوا وايد عامل ده امشي شغل.
this is where the powers of the government come in. Yeah, the power of government. What I mean by power of government, عندنا سفارات زي سفارة في US السفارة في جنوب السودان في US عنده حق لملاحقة بتاع الناس اللي بيعملوا انسايد لفايلنس في أمريكان سويل لأنه الجنوبيين اللي قاعدين في أمريكا هناك السفارة بتاعنا إذا كان عنده إمكانيات لما السفارة عنده legal team they should find the case against those individuals in American soil. The same thing will happen to come to Australia, the same thing will happen to Canada. So this is where the power of the government comes in. Lanu, there is nobody, أنا شخصيا as a begin lawyer and I'm supporting the government, I will not lodge the case, pay my own money to defend the government because the government in the powers, in the resources. So the government should be the one opening the case against those individuals in those countries. Now, number one, with that water. Then the mind and the higher number, beginner, we don't like what's happening. Then government should be the one opening the case against those who are inciting violence in the country. It's a felon. The world is looking for peace. Then those should be taken to court. As all Gadiamal video, government should at least open the case against those. Lando Harbata 2016, Albadao Gadet Dak, I can't Nairobi. Who can spokesman Riyang Machar. Yao Badao, but 2016, dog file can hustle fee, J1. وهربت 2025 Salva Kiir ولا president عملوا control because هو عمل come down ل SPDF والجنوبيين then social media فشيء معروف إذا كان government resources they should be the one opening the case against those ones who are inciting violence on social media and then هم يمشوا محاكمات ودي محاكمات وفيديو there are evidence والزمن ده بقى في اذا اتكلمت باللغه بتاع نوير ولا اللغه بتاع باريا ولا مورو ولا مورلي لازم يسموها because there is translation الدنيا بقى فيه تكنولوجيا حديث ممكن يترجم اللغه بتاعك انت قاعد تقول شنو simple فانا شخصيا السفاره بتاعنا في امريكا نحن طبعا وصلنا ما عندنا سفاره ممكن يتم ملاحقه بتاع الناس يعني ويدوا محاكم انه why they like the war to continue when they are living comfortable with their children ليه هو مثلا دايرين الجنوب بيكون في حرب مساكين يموتوا يعني باقي الناس يموتوا ويالهم في عايشين كملوك في يو اس وفي كندا في استراليا وفي باقي دول like يوروب and UK فده شيء يمكن اقوله لانه نحن اصلا كمواطنين قاعدين we cannot do anything.
Yep, I think this the government, yes, should, especially the foreign affair of South Sudan government, should play this role because terrorism doesn't have to be physically done. لأنه لو في زول بقعد مثلا في السوشيال ميديا وده كلام واضح طبعا زي ما قلت انه حتى لو بتكلم بروتان نوير في ناس بتتكلم عربي وفي ناس بيقول ذاته يعني واضح كده بانجليزي في ركعت فوق ف نعم انت كجنوب عندك حق مثلا يعني تكون ضد حكومه تكون يعني you can challenge حكومه لكن انت ما بتقول للناس امشي يعني شاكل امشي شاكل go to fight وكمان ما يعني ما شغله للحكومه ده شغله للمواطن الاخر للقبائل يعني ده انا ما اعرف زاد انت كسياسي انت داير مثلا تجي تكون رئيس انت تجي ذاك منو يعني اذا كان انت تقول انه يا امشي اقتل دينجا ده دينجا ده ما دايرينه انت ده تبقى رئيس منو ما انت لو ده تبقى سلطان للقبيله بتاعك امشي للريجن بتاعك تكون سلطان لان انت ذات ما تستحق انك تكون رئيس اذا كان تقول يا اخي قبيله فلانيه كده انا ما داير فانت يعني لازم تكون ضد حكومه بين حكومه ما شاب شغله حكومه ما يعني ادى خدمات للشعب فانت بتقول انه انا لو جابني بدل بتاع حكومه ده انا بقدر اني اعمل حاجه ده That's how you challenge the government. لكن لما تقول يا اخي انت امشي شاكل مع ده ونينا ما دايرين قبيله ده وما دايرين قبيله ده طيب انت كيف انه الناس يقول يا اخي انت زي زول كويس مثلا تجي في السلطه اذا كان انت ما داير يعني قبيله معين
والله دي ذاته ده شيء مؤسف لانه نينا جنوبيين اصلا لما جينا ما في زول there is nobody that fill the form that I want to be Denkawi لما نكون مولود لما كان مولود I didn't fill the form to be Denkawi شغل برازان I didn't fill my form when I was coming out from my so none of us fill the form to find himself in South Sudan none of us fill the form to find himself from the tribe that they were born in so it is something that you just talk and you cannot do anything about it if you continue talking about it nina ma darin fulan ma to de man ata askar gabila fi Junub Sudan you cannot take them anywhere whether you like it or not the kalam ana bitafaq ma me uncle Michael Mamoy at some time I follow him لما نكون عنده مؤتمر صحفي اتو بقى بالليل I follow him لا اصلا ما قاعد يدوس ولا بيلعب بجيم بتاع الكلام بقول لك في راسك whether you like it or not فالناس اللي ما بقول انه انا ما دايرين دنكاوي ولا دنكاوي بقول ما داير نوير ولا جنوب فيه اشجار اذا ما داير دنكاوي شوف لك شجره واحد اكبر شجره امشي you go and hang yourself ناس اصلا انه موجودين هناك they are not going anywhere whether you like it or not they are going to stay there لانه like I said none of us filled the application to be part of that tribe or none of us filled the application to be born in that certain area in South Sudan فشي ما بتقدر عليه شي ما عنده حل some that have no solution you cannot change it you don't have power for it you just be wasting time to talk about it النقطة الأخيرة اللي أنا وصلت مع الشغل وصلنا أمارة هنا
Okay.
على فكره انا متاكد المكتب بتاعنا ده بكون ده من قال دود لان انا شغل نيال مكتب شغل نيال you see
Nyal.
يال اكو يا برينيال يلا كده فجين ده yeah so
وريك nyal يا.
so in كي الشيء ده اقول الاخيره طبعا ده موضوع بتاع بولميل وده يكون نقطه بتاعنا next topic I will prepare so I hope it's going to be on the weekend so that I have
Yeah, I think I'm gonna replace that topic because it's continuing up to now. It's not even subsiding at all.
لانه انا سميت ناس من حالنا في جنجولي especially من حالنا الجيم اللي في جنجولي طبعا ولا خاص في باقي ناس هنا عندنا في ملبون بيتكلم انه بول ميل وما بول ميل وشي انا ما قدرت اعرف they have to differentiate between ball mill. Are they criticizing ball mill as an individual or are they criticizing ball mill because he's from certain community that he's come from? فدشي will discuss about it in next coming topic. لكن طبعا الموصف جديد ناس بداية انه we are supporting President Kiir and a decision that is being made by President I will support it. But إذا جاب cousin حقك appointed to be a minister you are happy. إذا جاب cousin تزول تاني you are not happy. For this double standard politics is not healthy for us. It's not healthy for us. We have to accept decision the president. Is a president كسر خبر شطة في ملاب تاني you have to eat it. إذا كان خلى شطة في ملاب تزول تاني you have to all of us we have to be the same because it cannot be white and you don't want it to be white for you. فعشان ده أقول إنه president decisions we always pretend that we are supporting his decisions, but when it comes to appointment of people that are not from your own circle, then you start to work against it. That is not how things are done. We have to respect any decision that is made by president. After Jablen as well, you have to support him because that is the meaning of support. If you support somebody, you support him with all decisions because decisions that they are not made in your presence. So you trust his mental ability, you trust his capabilities to do any decision that would favor your interest and the interest of the whole country. For another day, I will go deep about this because في فيديو أنا شفته من حالنا في جنجولي especially حالنا من جيم بتاع جنجولي بالأخص شباب من بور في جزء من أولاد بور في US وأولاد بور هنا في ملبون. I will talk about this because
Yeah, no, we will bring those up. We will bring those up. I have some evidence too, even some articles.
Your disagreement politically. Yeah.
Yeah.
فالمهم أنا بقول شكرا. It was a good topic. لكن it's not in our favor. I'm going to start at 8:30. So I'm going to prepare myself, my desk, and then from there I'll wait for the next topic on the weekend.
Okay. Shukran. Yeah, you can go to work. Bye now. Again, I think now it's been 1 hour and 30. I know a couple of people want to come, and for some reason, because this is StreamYard, it's not like Facebook. I know Facebook as of now probably can bring people in easily, but sometimes you cannot take more, than a certain number of people. That's why we use the StreamYard. The StreamYard, depending on what level you are in, you can bring more than 10 people at the same time. For those who want to still, I can put in, but I think I'm going to shut the show down soon. I'm going to close it down. But my question was, it was kind of a review or recaps from the event of last week. لأنه في ناس قاعدين في السوشيال ميديا 24 ساعة especially في كلوب هاوس بأكاذيب يعني كلام ما عنده يعني أدلة يعني زول بتقول كلام ولما تسأل ذاته وين الإثبات فبس بقوم بقول يا أخي ما أنت سبورت بتاع government وكده ففي ناس زي بخيل إنه الناس أو جنوبيين هم بقول يعني وبقول في أنفسهم أو ناس مثلا يعني متعلمين ويا فاهمين السياسة وكده لكن they are lying to themselves ده انت لما تقول حاجه تجيب الاثبات. نعم ده بمرات انت ممكن تقول حاجه ك اوبينيون او كراي بتاعك، ما بيعني انه الكلام ده صح. تقوم للناس يقول ده او كلام كده وكلام كده. كل الراي بتاعك لو في ناس فعلا انه قال كلامك ده صح، خلي الناس يعني لكن don't come as if, especially when you spin around. يعني تجيب تلم الحاجات مثلا appointment بتاع بول ميل مع وار شغله في ناصر، appointment بتاع بول ميل وعلاقه بتاع مع شمال بارغزال. نعم بول ميل من شمال بارغزال، لكن يعني الرئيس سلفكير ما جاب بول ميل عشان هو من شمال بارغزال. في ناس زادوا بيعمل تريس بينه عشان حسين كان من شمال بارغزال عشان رجع بول ميل. ده بوري بين انت زاد ما فهمت السياسه ولا عندك معلومه للسياسه بالذات يعني في جنوب السودان حاليا. حسين ما كان جابه، اولا حسين عنده حزب بتاعه برا، ولا حسب اتفاقيه بتاع 2018 ده هو جاب حسين كان رئيس، ما جابه عشان مثلا هو وظف ناس بيلا ما جي وناس بيلا ما جي دايرين زول من شمال بارغزال. This is where I see people are really they either ignorant of the reality or trying to fake it. You're trying to fake it. And by the way, I have a big question here. What is wrong with PhD? The South Sudanese that are holding PhD. They are supposed to be the highest educated, well trained thinkers. يعني بقى يعني PhD it seems like become like a بقولوا شنو النجومات اللي بكتب في سياسه ده امين في الجيش ده تلقى واد اكيد واد وين وما بعرف طابور زاد انتباه زاد بقول لك انتباه اجمع ما بعرف بقول انا ماجور انا جنرال وانا كده. they become يعني useless, they have no value really. I'm saying this is not because that all everybody that have a PhD is bad, but when I look into their writing, into their thinking, you know, let me tell you one story. Back in 90s, there was one student who was in Juba University. After he finished, couldn't find a job, like a white collar job, working in office or decent job. He came back عشان يجي يشتغل عمالة حر، شغل تامونة وحاجات زي ده. ففي الناس اللي شغال معهم ديل ما أصل مرة ماشي مدارس، ما عارفين دارس ما جاي ABC ولا حال باتا، لكن شغال نفس الشغل معهم. هو خريج في جامعة، فنادر سأله انت خرجت في جامعة وتجي تشتغل معنا بنفس الشغل ده، والشغل بتاعنا ده ما داير تعليم، ما داير شهادة أصلا، فليه يعني تعب ده كله؟ ليه تعب ده كله؟ يعني كله كم سنين ده من بدأت من ابتدائي لحد ما هنا خرجت في جامعة وتجي تشتغل بنفس الشغل ده. ف ده نفس السؤال. انت عندك انيشال في اسم بتاعك DR دكتور PhD holder، وانا فعلا في ارتكل انا عملت كمان فوق هناك وانا داير زول زي PhD ده دكتور ما اعرف اسمه منو او الجون كمل. انا داير زول يجي هنا ده كده تعال explain to me. Come to explain to me your logic في article بتاعك ده. What is the connection? Okay ممكن انت education بتاعك become مثلا عالي شديد يعني انا ما ممكن it's beyond my understanding my comprehension. علاقه بتاع appointment بتاع بولميل كان نائب رئيس مع وايت ارمي عمل هجوم او ايوه عمل هجوم في ناصر. علاقه بتاع بولميل مع اعتصاد الوقف في جنوب السودان ده، بولميل جابوا شهر الفات تعال قول لي انه يعني تساتا جنوب السودان ده كان كويس قبل بولميل ده عشان تجي تقول يا اخي بولميل يا خرب البرامج ده بولميل يا جاب البروبلم ده economic is collapsing, government is collapsing, there is war and all this. Tell me at what point last year or year before it is that جنوب السودان ده كان كويس عشان يجي وبعده بولميل جا وخرب الحاجه ده it is that. الزول اللي كتب الارتكل ده I want you tell him I want him to come here. I will give you a platform to explain to me and all the rest of South Sudanese that you guys think they are not educated and therefore you could just throw anything you have in your mind because you have a PhD, therefore people will start to believe you blindly like that. I think there's something wrong with this. Maybe the only PhD holder in real sense, maybe Dr. John Garang, who can talk sense. When he talk, he explain his point, and people agree to that. But some other doctors, PhD holders, that messing up South Sudan up to now, since 90s, because they think that they are well educated, and therefore the only thing that they know is chaos. It's putting country into problem all the time because they think they know it. I think this PhD holder need to check their mind. By the way, you could be highly educated, but you may have some mental problem. They need to be checked. Don't underestimate South Sudanese as if they're dumb. Yes, they may not be educated. Again, like I said earlier, they can read between lines. They can read between lines. So my last message here, and I'm going to shut down the show. The government of South Sudan must have a way as of now to bring those who are in social media exciting people to fight, especially when they trying to mobilize other tribe against other tribe, because this, if not handled properly, could lead to a big issue. And I know that's what they want. They want Jeng to respond swiftly, because the concept they're playing here is that I'm a man, you cannot talk me down. I can fight you, which is a dumb thinking. If this really happened, this is what they've been longing for. They've been working on this by trying to put JCE as a problem, by trying to brand government as a Dinka government, by making Kir as if Salva Kiir is a sultan of Ajam. And people are keeping quiet. I think people should work hard to make sure these people are added to the list. I have seen in 2013, 2014, the money would have been collected here to go and fight the war in South Sudan. And government know this. But again, they're busy around their cake. The government job, the government priority should be the safety of the citizen. And nobody should be allowed to incite violence. Nobody should be allowed to incite violence against tribes. Government should not allow that. It's okay for somebody to criticize the government. If government being criticized in a normal sense, people seem to be arrested and thrown. No, leave those people out, because they are mirror. They are your mirror that pointing out something that you may not have seen. But those inciting the violence should be held accountable, especially on social media. I'm not talking about people that criticize the government. You could sit in there, insult the government as you want. I'm not the government. I don't work with the government. But when you sit down here and incite violence, tribe against tribe, to score your political point, the consequence could be grave. The consequence could be atrocity that can happen in South Sudan. There's no history, there's no historical violence before that. Again, if there is a tribe versus tribe, it happened long time ago. There's nothing to do with Jang and Denka. Maybe Nuer, wherever they border with, they might have a fight with that tribe. But doesn't mean that they are against everybody else. So for those who are sitting on the social media, and I've seen even women joining this, especially in the Western world. And I know people have a good time in the weekends. You do whatever you want to do. You come out of that and you bored. There's nothing to do. You go on social media and yep 24/7. You go nowhere and fight. You white army go and fight. You know have been this. They've been disrespected. Go and fight this. And our community from where some of them seem to be buying this. I think to me that would be insult. If you telling me go and fight somebody else, that would be insult. I will start with you. If you want to fight, I will start with you. Why are you sending me to go and fight with somebody that I don't have a problem with? If you want to fight, I will start with you. Not go on there and fight somebody else. There is nowhere in the world where a citizen mobilize themselves and say, I'm going to fight the government. That's the dumbest idea you could ever think of, no matter how strong you are. I know people were complaining about, oh, Uganda army have been. Well, that's one of the people. That's one of the issues that you don't fight with the government. Government has a long arm. Government have allies. If you defeat them, they can bring somebody else, because they won't go down like that. So if you see the soldier from other country, don't go around and complain. They're not coming here because you think that, oh, it should be Jiang versus Nuer. No, that will not happen. That's your wishful thinking. You're trying to incite violence between Nuer and Jiang. No, it will not happen. And I know Jiang people always seem to be, even the JC that people have been crucifying and using that. And I know it's not that they did something wrong. It's a way to mobilize the other tribes against Jiang, because they think that because Jiang are the majority, and therefore if we get rid of them, we'll be able to get. No, my friend, if you really want to be successful, first of all, you will not beat Jiang if you want that, if that you're thinking, and therefore you can beat them, join them. And I think the easy part is join with Jiang, explain your political opinion to some individual Jiang, and they will accept that, and they will join you, and therefore you will have a force to overthrow the government. Again, not all of them. I'm not a fan of overthrowing government by force. Never. So if you have that concept, don't come to me. But if you have a plan of building this nation to be successful, come and tell me, and I will join you. Not through violence. You could call me cowards or whatever in that, but that's my position right there. Nobody, you could come in by violence, but tomorrow you will be overthrown by violence. And by the way, for those who are believers, the religious people, go and read your Bible. The same Bible says that if you use the word to kill somebody else, the same thing will be applied to you. So don't expect that you will just only do it and not to be done to you. So with that was just my recaps on events that happened last week, and especially the main thing was the war or the fight in Nasir. And I thank the government by subduing the situation, you know, de-escalates the situation, because again, some people are being mobilized, and and they're expecting. And I know some people are complaining, why they're not fighting? Why there's no fight? Young should have gone in there and do revenge. Young will not do revenge, because those who were attacked, even though they are young by uh, being ethnic from Jiang, they are not there for the mission of Jiang. They were there for the government, and therefore government has to take care of that, not Jiang as citizen. And if you trying to threat the other Jiang because you think that there's no response, then there will be uh, pushback. Jiang will not kind of like declare war against anybody. Okay, and I think that people can prove me right on that, because everywhere in Jiang area you could find any other tribe in there. And I was in South Sudan and I find them, even the foreigners, leave alone the South Sudanese. You find different type of tribes, all the tribes in South Sudan. If you go northern Baghdad, you find them in there. They are in Warab and they're living freely. If your wish is that you want them so they can be also do revenge, no. But government must apply the law. Government must apply the law. The partial application of law is always a problem. There's nothing called this is my friend Udakan Zamil Mai with it. No. Ganun. Ganun. Zakan ganun bugul ya khazul amal keda ikodi sijin kodi zol sijin. That's the government. Government huwa ganun. Luma ganun ma government asala. Government huwa distur. الناس اللي في الحكومة ده they are there because South Sudanese agreed to have that government body. It's not by force. And therefore, the law must be applied to every South Sudanese equally. I know President Kerry seemed to be so lenient and saying, "Oh, if I do this, it will be a problem." No. Apply the law. Apply the Constitution. Not your opinion, not your personal opinion. Because your personal opinion could be biased. You could be biased toward others, those who are not relatives, those who are not friends. But apply the law. Apply the Constitution. If South Sudanese don't like that, they will change it. You know, كتب الدستور وده كله power لسلفا كير. And when Salva Kiir using them, oh my God, Salva Kiir Amaleda, Salva Kiir Amaleda, you did that. You gave those power. وكسر those who كتب الله ده ويا واسه مرضو يعني طلب من حكومه وقال يا حكومه ده كاب. My friend, you wrote that constitution. You didn't object it. That constitution. القانون تاع جنوب السودان ده it was not put into referendum by South Sudanese. Into نظر في حكومه ده يا كتب القانون ده عدد كله يعني سلطان لكيميات ممكن بيشيل زول ويجيب اي زول دايره وده كان كويس لما جابوه لكن لما شالوك برا هسه بقى قانون ما كويس قانون كويس يا عم قانون الفي ده كويس لحد ما انه جنوبيين يكتب القانون الجديد يعملوا ريفرندوم فوق the vote for it, then that would be a new constitution. لكن الconstitution انتوا كتبتوا ده وشغلتوا فوق ده it's still the constitution now. So next time should be a lesson. When you are in power, don't write the constitution, because you will give yourself that power in constitution, but you're not going to be there forever. So don't give power to somebody else, because think about it. ممكن يعني القوه ده الباور ده بتاع constitution ده تدي لنفسك انه انت رئيس انت في حكم وكده وده حكومه بتاعكم لحد ما ينزل ثاني يجي يقول لك امشي وزول ثاني يشيل الباور ده. And when they use it against you, you start whining and complaining and running away. The good quiz. And by the way, I'm going to shut that down. It's almost 2 hours. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry for those who could not make it. I know StreamYard is sometimes difficult to get in. Next week's, I'm going to conduct the show, and especially the topic will be the reaction of South Sudanese toward Bolmer appointment. And I'm not talking about the personal reaction. Let's say some people say Bolmer is not qualified. And by the way, qualification is not, this is an appointment. When somebody have a right to appoint whoever they appointed, you could complain, yeah, there was no, it's not qualified and all that, because it is not a competitive job. Nobody applied for that. Zakat masalan ajida katoy na ugali aka izol qualified today, you apply for vice president, umashi chalo zol ma qualified, then you can complain. The power itu ada itu lagi Salva Kiir. Same thing. Nasir yang mencari undak jabal mara betal wazir fi wazar dafa. Thanks Salva Kiir that ma jab mara betal ikun na rais. So now you're complaining. Salva Kiir mungkin jiba yang tidak ikun na rais. So that would be the next topic. And my point of bringing that topic is that we need to analyze the reaction of other communities or other individuals. I'm not saying community because it was not actually a community, but there's maybe some individual from different communities who react on that. So we will talk about it, because some people seem, again, I think most of people are ignorant of politics. There's nothing, there's no connection, there is nothing as a requirement for Salva Kiir Mayardit, President Salva Kiir, to appoint Bolmer from Bahr el Ghazal or Shimal Bahr el Ghazal. It was not a requirement. No. We will talk about that. We didn't talk about it initially because people were reacting, and I know sometimes when you're angry or something, you're not listening. But I want people to go back and watch their video and watch their statement. Did it make sense by then? Or does it still make sense right now? Your statement saying that Bolmel was brought because he's from Madinga or all this. Yeah, I know. Sometimes you could call Bolmel is all corrupt, and who else really? Who else is not corrupt in South Sudan? If you say Bolmel is most corrupt compared to who? Was Bolmel part of 75 list that was acknowledged by the president? Some of your uncles are part in that list. I think to me now it becomes that if it is somebody else eating it, it's bad. When it is you, then it's okay. You want to sit there with your uncle, and when somebody uncle else come in, and you complain. Until the South Sudanese understand that politics is not based on tribes. The tribal politics, you can't even win tribal politics. I know people have been talking about, South Sudan, the other 62 tribes or 63 tribes should go fight against Jiang. Is that what you have? Is that the character you have to become a leader of South Sudan? Because you want to mobilize the rest of the tribe to fight against certain tribes? Check your head, if that makes sense to you. From there, I will stop this. I know sometimes when we go to Clubhouse, we are new to there, but sometimes when you go to Clubhouse and try to do that, they go, okay, take him down. That show you're not ready to debate. That show what you're saying is a lie, and you don't want somebody else to challenge you. We used to challenge them here on Facebook, and they ran away. Most of the time, they just block you. You're not ready. If you're not ready to debate, that proves that you are a liar. You don't want to be challenged. Ita da duk Saud bitak da to go na gina ida discipline kalam farik And by the way, it's just entertainment. I think people go to clubhouse there. Can isma kalamat malo aja deh. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here. If you want to come to the show, links are there, but not now. So next time, show up. We can debate about that topic. Will touch about make appointment and reaction of the individual here, especially in social media, that are sitting in there and whatever. So I don't defend Von Mel. If you criticize him, if he doesn't know how to manage or whatever, that's fine. That's where you have a right as a citizen, knowing this individual is not capable of managing. You have a right to say this person will not be able to manage this because he's not capable, and I know because of this and this. But don't come in there because why this guy is coming from is this from this community? Because the concept you guys have is always eat, eat, eat is food. So when being in position of government, and that's what Dr. Jones said last time. بانه الفهم او مفهوم بتاع السودانيس in general بانه اكوما ده حاجه ده زول عنده قروش كتير ويزول داير يدخل يدينه يشيله. That's exactly what's going on right now in South Sudan. اكوما هناك ده طريق واحد انت داير تمشي الاماره الا تمشي الحكومه، داير تزوج الا داير تمشي الحكومه، داير تعمل شنو الا الحكومه. Don't take me wrong. I understand that. People say, well, there's no job. Not every job is being created by the government. I think the basic thing that we need from the government is security. Having security in the country so the other people that can invest freely and not worry about losing their money. That should be the requirement, not employment from the government. If you went to school and you learned something, use that, apply it. It's not that to say, oh, I'm a graduate of this university or whatever. Good night. I'm done. So if you feel hurt, I mean, this is my opinion. You might not like it, but that's what it is. So I will end the show and see you next week. I will set a time. Just keep an eye on Tim Chuk page. We'll talk about it. I know most of the time you guys see me conducting shows in Tongjiang. Yeah, it's part of language that recognized by South Sudan Constitution, but I try to, bang English بتاعي شوية ده بang شوية ده ولا نيونغور بتاع إنجليزي ده بتاعي ده ولا عربي ده عشان أنا داير معلومة ده يوصل للجماعة ده. الناس اللي بقعد في السوشيال ميديا and yapping all the time عشان كده أنا حاولت بنيونغور بتاع شوية إنجليزي ده so that you can get my message. Good night.